be your evaluation of just Alante overall to this point this season?
Definitely think he's made improvements, just from understanding the defense, his coverage, how he's fitting in the run game. This last game he had some missed tackles. Got to clean that up, obviously, but he's still playing fast, competing.
When it comes to Paulson Adebo, who of course right now is being looked at because of the defensive pass interference penalties over the course of the past couple weeks, stuff like that. You've talked before about having to kind of manage like what you're going to get out of all that. Has anything changed in terms of the way that you look at that, or?
No, I used to always look at the technique. I think the positives from the game, he got the penalty, but I mean that's the fastest dude in the history of the NFL, and that's what I told him, the history of the NFL, and he's running stride for stride. So. His technique at the line was good. Just got to finish down the field better. But I think when you can stay with a guy with that caliber of speed, I think that's confidence for him. It's just clean up his play at the top of the route, his finishes.
Joe, what's kind of the major difference between the Bucs offensive scheme from last year to this year?
You know what? You see some carryover. And the thing in this league is, a lot of offenses was, you want to say Shanahan tree with all those guys. It's like everybody comes from that scheme. And you always say in the NFL it's a copycat league. So if there's good plays on tape, people copy them, and run them. So you see a lot of similarities in terms of what they're doing from last year to this year. I'm sure it's stuff that Baker feels comfortable doing as well.
It seemed like, at least looking at some of the analytic, percentages and things like that, so it could be true, could be not, but it seemed like there was a lot of a heavier zone focus on defense this past week. Do you agree with that? And if so, like what was the thinking?
Yeah, there were specific things that we were trying to do, game plan wise, just to create some confusion for them. I think it worked at times. Didn't work enough, but I think it worked at times. And I told the guys, we just, from a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint, we just didn't execute at a high enough level. And that's what happens when you play good teams. They did some things we didn't expect, we had to adjust to. But I showed the guys, said we had this many missed tackles, we had this many mental errors, we had this many explosives, and I put up there fourth quarter at 16-13. So if we eliminate half of those, right, and we play better, it's a different game. So that's our focus, is just executing whatever we run. It's about us more than it is about them.
How would you describe Mike Evans and what he's done well, what his biggest plus is, and just how impressive is it that a guy can do it at his level for as long as he's been able to do it?
Yeah, he's a big, physical receiver that plays angry at times, but he's been doing it for a long time. I've coached against him several times. He's just a handful because a lot of times you don't play against receivers that play like defenders, and he has that mentality when he plays, but he's great in terms of the 50-50 catches down the field, his catch radius, his ability to run routes, his speed. They're moving around to get him the ball in certain spots where you can't put your hands on him. Like I said, he's been playing at a high level for a long time. So, we already know what the battle is, so we just got to go and play our best ball.
You do things different against him than against other guys? Like, is there a Mike Evans plan?
Maybe. No, for sure. You play elite receivers, you got to have something for them. Whether you're rolling the coverage or whether you're putting something in to try to take them away. So, and that's what we do against most guys. But he's definitely got our attention.
Joe, why do you think your guys' red zone defense is so good right now?
That's my area, so I want to say I'm doing a good job in terms of the presentations. No, but I think the guys, I think down there we don't do a whole bunch. And I think when you have confidence, you're doing the same thing over and over again. And then just the way DA sets up practice in terms of our meetings, exposing the guys to the routes, in terms of the walkthroughs. We get an extra red zone period like today, and then we'll go out tomorrow and have, really focus on the red zone. But I think all in all, the guys just doing a good job executing the game plan.
25% though is kind of an insane number.
Yeah, I really don't look at stats that much. I know that we're pretty good because we get them down there, but it really comes down to guys that's doing their job. And I think we're making it harder on the quarterback because we have enough mix where he doesn't know exactly what it is. And with rush and coverage working together, we're playing well down there.
Has that been your area since you got here?
Yes. Were we good last year? Okay.
With the possibility of not having Will for a little bit, just kind of what have you seen from Jonathan and Jordan this season and kind of how they're responding?
I've always felt good about that whole group because they're a confident group, they're a smart group. You know, we practice and we roll them at every position, whether it's strong safety, free safety, the dime position. So the guys all have reps under their belt. So I feel very comfortable just moving forward.
Can you tell us a little bit about what went into the decision to, once Will had to leave last game, go into Jonathan Abram, and maybe why that was the decision?
Yeah, that was our plan going into it. Our different sub packages. We had a different sub package with him. We had a different sub package with Kool-Aid. So it was just part of our plan.
In terms of getting off the field, is that something that, third down defense, is that something that's been an issue, or is that more of a Pat Mahomes thing? Like, how do you look at that?
It's been an issue. Something we actually addressed this morning with the whole group. But it's really tackling the quarterback, too many missed tackles. I know we played Philly, we missed a tackle. We took 13 more plays, and we would have been off the field. So those plays add up. We might have took 50, 60 extra plays just because we simply missed a tackle. We didn't get the quarterback down. We had him in our grasp. So it's really more of us just finishing in space. And again, we watched several plays today in the meeting on third down.
How have you seen Spencer just improve over the past few weeks running scout team?
Who's that? Oh, Spencer? Oh, I really don't pay much attention to him. I just know when we have short routes, they always throw it deep. That's scout team quarterbacks. But no, I think he's talented. Just from what I've seen, he's talented. He has the arm strength. I think he's mobile. He can extend plays with his legs. And I know he's a gamer. So I know he's going to be up for it.
What have you seen differently out of Baker Mayfield this year than maybe last year?
He's playing well. I was with Baker in Cleveland. I always liked the guy. You got that moxie, you got that chip on his shoulder. He's a guy that I know their team probably rallies around. But he's always been confident, and I think the last couple of years he's played well. I think he's settled down. He's comfortable there in Tampa. I think they build that system around him a little bit. But I think he's making good decisions with the football, just watching the tape. And the thing that people don't realize, man, that dude can scramble. I remember him doing it. Before you know it, you look, man, he's getting out through a little crease, and you see him running down the field. So he presents some problems for us.
Hey, Joe, as a defensive coordinator, just kind of putting you in the Tampa Bay's role, but facing a rookie quarterback, do you sort of attack him a little differently as a coordinator? Or is your approach a little different?
I would say probably yes. Not to get into it, but, obviously we got a guy out there as a rookie. They're probably going to do some things to try to confuse him. That's what you would typically think they're going to do, but we'll see. I know he can handle it.
What's your review of Collins' interception?
What's that?
What's your review of Collins?
Oh, man, he was so excited. I was just talking to him on the field about it. He's like, man, I needed one more block. Grando fell down. He cut me off. They knew what I can do with the ball. And they still don't have me on offense. I said, keep working.
Like Jonathan was getting in the way, just tell him move and let him run next time.
Yeah, he was rolling, man. He was rolling down the side. So he was like one block away. But we talked about running the play. We just missed one block. So.
How do you think RG did?
He did a nice job. Things happened late for us in the week, but he's been a guy we've been confident with for a long time, even going back to last year. With not a lot of reps, I feel like he stepped in. Wasn't perfect, but I feel like he stepped in and did some really good things in the game. Was
there something that you had seen in him that, because you guys went DeMarco after Willie got hurt? Yeah. Was there something that? Yeah,
Orgy's a guy he's one of the guys who can play multiple positions, so that's why he's so valuable. So whatever linebacker position, you can throw him in, and he can function. So he's always had that value with us, but he's a smart player. He gets it. He plays with confidence. So we're going to need him.
When you lose a guy late in the week like that, do you have time to make adjustments, or do you just kind of have to run the plan?
You just roll. It's just one of the things you have to deal with, man. If this from my whole coaching career, guys go down, and I see guys like, oh, what are we going to do? Next guy's up. You have no choice. So you just always have confidence in the guys that are there. That's why they're here. That's why they're on the team. They wouldn't be on the team if we didn't feel like they were good enough. So you just make sure you go over them a little bit extra, maybe a couple more meetings, make sure they have the game plan down, and then say, hey, man, go play and just be who you are.
Just getting back to the missed tackles, when that you mentioned before, how would you describe the misses? Because I know sometimes it can be, they take the torpedo tactic and they bounce off, or it's a bad angle. Or, I mean, is it just failing to wrap up, or what is what do the missed tackles look like to you?
A little bit of everything, right? Sometimes in the grass, we have them. Sometimes the guy jukes us. We don't take the proper angle. Tracking on the near hip, keeping your head up on contact, not leaving your feet. We do tackling drills all the time. But, when it's real and you're playing at speed, you got to keep that technique. And it's really that simple. But if you put your head down, you leave your feet, you're going to miss tackles. And that's what happened to a lot of our guys.
Going back to Baker, he's only thrown 2 picks, but he's been one of the more sacked quarterbacks. How much emphasis are y'all putting on getting after him, but also containing him to get some more turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of we want to put pressure on him. And we have to be tight in coverage in order for us to do that. But we'll definitely have a rush plan. It's something we talk about. There's different ways to attack him, whether it's 4-man rush, whether we're bringing pressure. But it all works together. But we got to make him feel uncomfortable. Because if you don't make him feel uncomfortable and you get him windows of throw in, he has the arm talent, he has the strength, he's accurate with his passes. You see it on tape. So it's going to have to be a combination of everything we're doing defensively.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.